Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and I'll tell you right now, I just feel incredibly lucky, incredibly grateful, and I think the rest of the 12s think this way. What am I talking about? Well, I'll let you know here in just a moment, but make sure that you do subscribe to the channel. Help us out. We're on the road to 76K. We're 66 people away from hitting that number. Help us out. Hit that sub button. I'm talking, of course, about Gray Zable, man. I think on Sunday, I had the same reaction that I saw a lot of other Seahawks fans have the reaction. I saw Evan Hill, a known Seahawks diehard over on Twitter, say this as well. But if the Seahawks lost Gray Zable at that left guard spot, it felt like it would drastically pull down what this team was going to be for the rest of the year. Did that mean that they might not make the playoffs? No, they were probably going to be a playoff team. I mean, shoot, you're 7-3 on the year. You got 3 games for your next 3 games. They're not that difficult. You got the Titans, you got the Vikings, you got the Falcons. I mean, even without Gray Zable, those should still probably be 3 wins. The Colts, they're starting to fall off a little bit. You're going to have another big one against the Rams. I don't know what the Panthers are. And the 49ers are probably a playoff team, but they're a team that's weaker than what they were when you played them the first time. But were you a team that could make a serious run? I don't know. And it's weird to say that about a rookie offensive lineman, but I truly believe it from the bottom of my heart that Gray Zable has completely turned around what was a very shoddy offensive line. It's been an offensive line that for multiple years now, basically since you traded Max Unger for Jimmy Graham, that hasn't been very good. And it feels like he has helped turn some of that tide along with, I'm not here to say that he's the sole reason Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas have been playing fantastic. That extension for Lucas looks better and better every single day. But I will say that interior, the offensive line, has always been a part of your team that has really struggled. And I mean, even still at times, and I hate to just keep pounding the table and keep kind of beating on Anthony Bradford, because I do think that some of it is unfair. I mean, I think you can go through the game tape of any player and find bad plays. Now, he has a lot more, and I think where he ranks at in the NFL shows you what type of guard he is in the NFL. But Gray Zable and his ability to get up to the backers, to be mean, to be physical, to be an offensive lineman's offensive lineman has just been massive for you guys. For us, I don't know why I keep saying you guys, because I'm a fan of the team. I've loved the team since I was just a little kid. But if you lost Gray Zable, if we lost Gray Zable, I don't know that the run game would go back to clicking the way that it has. When you look at the season-long totals for the averages for that running attack, it is misleading because they look like an average run team. But if you look at their rushing stats basically over the last 4 or 5 games, they're right at that 135 mark. In an NFL world where you're not really running the football as much as they have been in the past. You are zigging while everyone else is zagging, or zagging while everyone else is zigging, because you're going back to a style where you want to run the football. You're running the football to open up your passing game, and while it hasn't been lights out, knock 'em, sock 'em dead, hey, you're the best rushing team in the NFL, it's been good enough to allow Sam Darnold to continue to show that he is a great player aside from what he put out against the Rams. It's shown that Jackson Smith-Njigba now has opportunities to get more and more open. And I think the more that we see Shaheed in a Seahawks uniform, the more output we're going to see from him as a wide receiver. I saw all of that possibly go away when they were helping carry off Gray Zable. They were carrying him off the field. As a former offensive lineman, that's like the one thing you don't allow them to do. So if you're allowing them to do that, it must mean that it's a horrific knee injury. And then to hear on Monday Mike McDonald come out and say, hey, he's getting imaging done, it's not as bad as we think, I was ecstatic. But at the same point, I'm still thinking, hey, you're probably going to lose him for 3 or 4 weeks minimum. You're going to lose him for quite some time. And then I see on Greg Bell's Twitter, an excellent beat reporter for the Seahawks, a video of Gray Zable not out on the field, not just in pads, kind of moving around gingerly, slowly. He was jogging on the effing field. I think there's a chance he could possibly go this week against the Titans. Will he? I don't know. But the fact that he's already out there moving around for your Seahawks, man, that's huge. Do you agree with me? Do you think the Seahawks dodged a bullet Let me know down below in the comments, because right now I think you dodged a gigantic bullet. It's going to help push this team forward. I'm going to dive into what the replacement options would have been and how grim they would have been for the Seahawks. But before I do, I need to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you could cash in. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. So the first replacement option that you would have had, and to me it seems like it's clearly going to be the replacement option if Zabel isn't able to go against the Titans, which, to be honest, I've been saying it all week. I'm still saying it today. Do not play him on Sunday. I could not be more clear about that. How many times this season have we seen Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love, list goes on, of Torrey Horton last week at practice, come back too soon, and then have to go back on the injury report and miss not one game, but multiple games the rest of the way. Can't have that with Zabel. Let him sit against the Titans. Shoot, if you need to let him sit against the Vikings, let him sit against the Vikings. Bring him back for Atlanta. Let him ramp up. Let him ramp up against the Colts maybe even. I don't care. It's a knee injury. Be careful with those things, especially for an offensive lineman, of his talent. Don't have him play on Sunday. That's my opinion. I could end up being wrong. Now, your first replacement option for him would be Christian Haynes. And the reason you haven't seen a lot of him this year is, well, because he's been on IR. In fact, he actually just got cleared to come off IR and be on the active roster last week against the Rams. Now, Haynes has been dealing with a pec injury, and he's had a very disappointing career, I think. Obviously, a former third-round pick. A lot of Seahawks fans really excited about him come in as a guard. Going into this offseason even, it was hey, it's Haynes versus Anthony Bradford, and Haynes is going to beat out Bradford, and that honestly didn't happen. I know there are some people in my DMs and my comments saying, well, it's because he got hurt, and that's how Bradford beat him out. No. Anthony Bradford won that job. Anthony Bradford straight up went out and beat Christian Haynes for that starting right guard spot. So what does that tell me? If Anthony Bradford is right now a below average starting guard in the National Football League, and we all know it, what is Christian Haynes? Because if he wasn't able to beat out Anthony Bradford, and the coaches were there every single week, and they were there every single day, and they watched the practice reps, and Anthony Bradford beat him out, what does that tell you? We saw him get, now, albeit one drive, so not totally fair, but we saw him get one drive against the Rams. I saw multiple plays in there while he did not give up a sack. It felt like he was on skates for most of that time. Now, again, to be 100% fair, the Rams' defensive line is very freaking good, and they were in a situation where they knew the Seahawks had to throw the ball. They were pinning their ears back. They were coming, and they were running twists. They were running stunts, blitzes, all you name it. It's not an easy position for a seasoned offensive lineman, let alone a guy getting his first reps in a game since, August, right? Not the easiest situation for a player to be in. That being said, I'm fine with Christian Haynes against Tennessee. You don't need Gray Zable to beat Tennessee. I might even be fine with him against Minnesota and Atlanta. Don't know that I'm fine with him against the Colts. Definitely not fine with him against the Rams. You need to be able to run the football. I don't know that Christian Haynes gives you that best ability, and he certainly doesn't give you a great spot in the pass pro. We've seen what happens with Sam when he feels like he's seeing ghosts. The other option, you could have went with Bryce Cabledue, or still can go with Cabledue. It doesn't seem like that's going to be the plan. McDonald has made it kind of clear that it's going to be Haynes. Here's my thing with Cabledue. He's a young kid. Obviously, still trying to figure out his way in the National Football League. I don't hate getting him reps necessarily, but again, if the coaches are putting in Haynes, that tells us all that we need to know. They're there every single day. They know who the better option is. I've always thought it's funny when fans get upset about a coach playing a starter over a backup, saying, why would they do this? What's happening? It's like, hey, man, they don't hate the guy. They're there every single day, and they're going to play the guy that they think gives them the best chance to win. Because if they don't, their ass is going to get fired. That means their kids might not be able to eat, right? So they're going to put the best option out there. Unfortunately, right now, it does feel like Cabledue's got some time. He's got to season himself. But here's the good thing about offensive linemen. Offensive linemen age like fine wine. Give them time, give them years, give them reps. Everything starts slowing down. They start performing a lot better. So while I don't like the rookie option going with Cabledue, I just don't think he's there yet. And I think with what we've seen from Haynes, he's not the best option of all time. I do think that we're in a position where it's, survive and advance for right now. Just find a way to win, and I think that you can win with Christian Haynes. The other replacement option that had been on the table would have been that Olu Oluwatimi would have come in at center, and Jalen Sundell would have bounced over to that left guard. That was the clear plan from the beginning. McDonald has said that multiple times, but obviously right now you can't do that because Sundell is on your injured reserve. So we should be thanking our lucky stars that Gray Zable is okay. Because we've been a whole mess of trouble. The Seahawks fans, myself, everyone who's around the team, supports the team, loves the team. If Gray Zable wasn't able to go the rest of the year, I don't know where this team would be. I really don't. So I'm incredibly thankful, and I think that the Seahawks, us, the fans, we all dodged a bullet that Gray Zable looks like he's going to be okay, and he's only going to be out for the short term, maybe not even at all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're so close. We are so close to that 76K mark. Want to make sure that we get there before Sunday. Help us out. Go smash that sub button. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.